This millionaire non-league owner doesn't even know the offside rule, but his club is getting results on and off the pitch, with Football League level facilities, an unbelievable playing squad and record crowds flooding through the gates. So why did these Essex owners buy an 8th-tier football club?
Couldn't afford anything, I.
What you've done with the place is absolutely incredible. What was the first thing that you needed to do when you took over in February?
Good question. Clean the showers, clean the floors, scrub out the bar, and find a manager. I'm not looking at it as a football thing because I don't know anything about football. That's the first thing. So I need people around me that actually understand the game and what is needed to have a successful team. But I do know how to run a business, and that's, for me, one of the key things to making something sustainable. You have to be able to pay the bills, keep the lights on and everything else, and you've got to pay your staff. The football players are the staff. Without them, the business folds. There's no one's coming through the gates and all that kind of stuff. You have to have the money coming in. If you look around our pitch today, there isn't a space left for an advertising board. We've even got to the point where we're having to put them up on the hill, which is great because we're charging between 10,000 and I think one of our sponsors paid 20,000 for one of those boards up there. In the last 6 months, we've done 500,000 in advertising.
When you came in, you decided to change the club crest. How much of a difficult decision was that, considering how...
Did you see the last
football
one?
fans... I did see the last one. We were here...
It was not a difficult decision.
We were here 2 years ago.
I was working at Essie's Council, mate. That.
Was that one of the first things you looked at and went, our brand needs to be much more engaging to supporters? Yes. And what was the backlash like? Were some fans a bit apprehensive about changing the crest? Because us football fans, it means a lot.
There was a lot of resistance. However, the majority of the resistance was from other clubs. It was their fans, not necessarily ours. What you've got to remember is, this isn't a club that was formed in 1845 like some of them. This club was formed only 15 years ago. So that's a brand new logo crest anyway. And it was shit. It was something that was just designed quickly, in a rush, to put Tiptree with Malden and create this one club. So it already had lost its identity from the first club of Tiptree and the first club of Malden. What we've done is create a completely different new logo, crest, that will take us into a new century with new dynamic owners, with a new dynamic ethos to the club. But not just that. Wouldn't you rather wear that logo on your nice look?
Yeah, it looks good.
Much better than that was there before.
Looks a little bit like Inter Miami. Did you get that a lot?
So? Well, people did say that, actually.
Barry's football knowledge might not be up to scratch, but his ability to transform the club's stadium is. But what's more impressive is the owner, Scott, constructed all of the refurbishments.
Obviously, we had to wait until the end of the season to do a lot of the main refurbs, but in the space of the end of the season to pre-season, we've managed to, I'll just list them, the home changing room, the away changing room, the officials room, all the cladding around the building, new pergolas, new bars outside, new media rooms, in the space of like a month.
How did you get that done?
Just absolute sheer willpower. We said we'd make a change when we first took over. We wanted to show that we're not all about our words. Put everything into action and transform the clubs. And to see the fans' reaction as well. And to be honest, a lot of the fans did do a lot of voluntary work to help up with the clean-up and things like that. A lot of the sponsors came in as well. We bring the community together, and that really helped.
How have you improved the matchday experience for fans?
Well, actually, I'm looking at the line down here, and that's the wonkiest I've ever seen in my life. Oh my Lord. So before February, we were getting between 90 and 120 people. Now minimum we get 500, 600, but a lot of the games we've had 1,600.
How does that make you feel?
Good.
Feels like you're doing a lot for the community.
But this is my community, that's the thing. I'm not doing any more than I would have done if I was having another business here, you know. I engage with the community all the time. This is where my kids are being brought up. This is where my kids go to school just down the road. This community is important to me. The last thing I wanted here, I mean, you've seen what it's like built up around here now. Every spare bit of land, they're putting 500 houses on them. This is 22 acres of land here. It's prime real estate land in the middle of an area that's expanding dramatically. The last thing I want on my doorstep is another 300 or 3,000 homes, you know. Just don't want it.
With big investment comes huge expectation, and Malden and Tiptree will be looking for automatic promotion. But how much pressure does that put on manager Kevin Horlock?
Every manager wants to do well, don't they? As an owner, everybody wants to do well. You want to win the league, you want to win your games, but you're not going to win everything, that's the thing. So you just got to be realistic. You know, we're still doing a good thing within our community. Our community are coming, they're engaging more. People had lost interest before, now they're re-engaging. And I feel like we're everybody's FA Cup final. That's the thing. People come just to beat us. They want to beat us like you wouldn't believe.
Kevin, it's your second time here at Malden and Tiptree. How different is it from the first time you were here?
Yeah, it's totally changed. There's new owners in place, a different ideology in terms of where the football club is and what it wants to do. Obviously, it was massively linked with Colchester before, which is where I worked. But now, new owners, they want to move it forward. Obviously, you can see how they've changed the facilities, massive on social media. Everything about the club's gone up a notch, and they've got the funds, obviously. That's well documented, but they've put the money where their mouth is. And what I like about it is they've done everything to the highest standard. They've given us everything we need. So there's no excuses. It's on us. We've got an unbelievable squad with the facilities and the staff as well. There's no excuses. So the owners have basically said, right, it's over to you. So there's pressure with that, but I'm looking forward to it.
Your facilities are great. That away changing room, slightly different.
Still better than most we go to, though,
is,
to be
yeah.
fair. Look, I think they did a little refurb on, nothing too special, nothing like ours, but you go to some ropey old grounds at this level, and that's better than most, the away one.
What's it like for you then, managing at Step 4 with a very healthy budget? When you go into that non-league market, have you got the pick of the bunch?
Yeah, probably, but there's obviously a lot more work goes into it than that, and we're pretty stringent on not only the quality of player, but they've got to be the right person, and they've got to buy into what we're trying to do and achieve. We're not a non-league club where you see it a lot at this level, where players are just picking up a little bit of extra money. This is serious business. We want to climb the pyramid, so we've got to try and attract them players. We've obviously got a lot of knowledge about players at this level and above between me, Mitch and the coaching staff, so that's what we've done, and so far so good.
How do you install that professionalism into these players? Because this is what this outfit looks like now.
A lot of the players have played professionally that we've got now, and obviously the younger players with the potential, it gives them the opportunity to look at what that looks like in training, and obviously the standard of coaching and facilities help that as well. So hopefully it all comes together. We've got a target on our back. I've said that quite a lot, but
Do you enjoy that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. Everyone's sort of questioned dropping down a couple of levels to come and manage here, but for me, it's the bigger picture. It's what this club could achieve with the backing of the owners. So yeah, there's pressure every game. We've had it already where teams are performing really well against us, but the players we've got have seen that, they've dealt with it in the past, so it shouldn't be a problem, hopefully.
One of the club's many marquee signings is former professional footballer Freddie Sears. But what attracted him to the Step 4 football club?
All come about quite quickly, really. Obviously, last season there was a takeover. Once you get your feel for the club here, it was sort of a no-brainer. Obviously, I'm local to the area, which is a big pool in non-league. And yeah, sort of everything the new guys have come in, they've sort of done. And like, you just look around the place today, it's so much different to even when I first come here, let alone last season.
How important is it for you as a former professional that the standards are at a high standard on the pitch?
Yeah, it's difficult. I remember speaking to you when I was at Braintree before, and it's like, obviously I've been so used to football, that's your professional job, where a lot of the guys here have other jobs, and this is like this is like sort of like a hobby, to be fair. So it's like these guys are having long days at work and then coming in to play football. So it's like you're trying to get the standard as best you can. That's from the coaching team. A lot of these boys have played at higher levels, so they're trying to bring probably a better culture to the club. But again, it's difficult when people are working 9 till 5 and then coming to train. It can be difficult. But since I've been in non-league, really, the boys have been great. Everyone's sort of loving their football, and that, I think you sort of sense that in non-league. Whereas sometimes I think in a professional game you might lose that a little bit because it's super serious. You look around the place now and it's not far off. Like the spec they've gone for, like the new changing rooms, the new like dugouts and stuff are really like League 2, League sort of 1 levels. The stadium probably needs a little bit of work and stuff, but we're still where we are. We're a Step 4 team. You see it in the leagues now, and a lot of teams in the non-league are really having a go. I was at Chatham Town last year, and the facilities there was brilliant. You know, I think the chairman had a complete copy of the Old Trafford dressing room, so it just shows
Right,
non-league before it used to be standard seats, nothing in there, no showers, and now it's like you're looking around at some of these places, and it really is taking a step up.
And the fans got a treat when they saw Freddie Sears and Gary Hooper up top. I bet you didn't expect that to happen, did you?
No, I didn't. Obviously, Hoop signed last year when the takeover first started. So obviously, with a lot of non-league, a lot of people in the game. And Elliot Justin, the goalie, signed, who I played with previously. Then Tom Eastman signed. And non-league, you sort of go with your friends a little bit more, people you know. And obviously, everyone's local to the area. So I think that's a big part now. Like for me now, I'm enjoying playing football, but I'm not going to go and play in Manchester now, so it's like this is a perfect community, local to home. And yeah, it was a mad one with Hoops because obviously it's like probably the oldest front two in the division, but definitely the most experienced.
Most quality.
Yeah, most experienced. But unfortunately, he got injured in the second game, so a bit of a setback for him. But hopefully, we can get him back soon on the pitch.
And how do you find all the cameras, all the media stuff knocking about. We've seen Barry walking around with Scott, and there's a camera following him every step of the way.
Yeah, it's been different. I think you sort of get used to it a little bit. When I first come in, I was sort of like hiding out the way of it, like not sure what was going on and stuff. But you sort of have to embrace it, you know. For these guys, the social media team here is brilliant, rightly or wrongly. You know, they're getting the word out about the club, and you see the numbers. I think it'll be a busy one today, obviously Bank Holiday Monday, and you probably get 600, 700, 800, and then later in the season, hopefully we start doing really well, like we started the season really well, start doing well, and then who knows with this place.
And you've started well, scored 5 in 5, is it?
6 in 5,
6
yeah,
in
if you
5.
count FA Cup. But yeah, it started well. I said before, you get that little bit of pressure coming in. Everyone expects you to score 40. Everyone speaks before, you're going to get 40, 50, and it's like it's not as easy as that. You know, obviously the goals don't move. The boys have been really good here. They've recruited really well. To be honest, the team's probably a level or two above where it should be. So I'm going to get chances. It's down to me to score, but I'm still enjoying that buzz of Saturday afternoon, Monday afternoon today, scoring goals and winning games. You know, I'm 35 now, so I know football don't last forever, but at the minute I'm really enjoying it, and just want to get this club promoted to the next division would be perfect.
There's a lot of full-time staff at this football club now. How much do those percentages help you on the pitch as well, with physios, chefs and things like that?
That's massive. It's massive. At this level, you ask any of the managers in this league, you do nearly everything. You're chasing people, and then you've got to go to people about wages are wrong, fixtures. It's a bit of a nightmare. It's a headache. So I'm very lucky in that respect. We've got top people in top jobs. I mean, it makes my workload a lot easier, and I can just concentrate on the stuff that goes on the football pitch.
What was the biggest thing you noticed dropping down divisions, managing at step 4?
As a manager, I'm still the same. I still have the same standards and thoughts on football. It's about installing that. Sometimes at this level, you potentially get players that are not as committed to football as you do as you go higher, obviously. But like I said, we've got a squad together that have played higher, know what I'm about, because I've worked with a lot of them before, and know what we're trying to achieve. And if I can get the whole group to buy into that, which at this stage it looks like I have, the future's bright.
And that gets more people through the turnstiles, which ultimately you can have the big owners with all the money, but it needs to be sustainable. And I guess what you do on that pitch will have a big effect as well on how many people come through the door.
It helps. To be fair, we were quite successful in my last stint here. We got to the playoff final. The fan base wasn't big, nowhere near what it is now. I think the new owners have brought in excitement. They've obviously backed what they've said and produced. People can only come here and see what they've done already. And I think fans have bought into that. Local people have seen the hype on social media, which they're brilliant at. And then it is down to us to perform, win games, and hopefully that can steadily grow.
And for yourself, being a full-time manager at step 4, there aren't many in the division that are doing that at all, if any.
I think I'm the only one, probably. But look, I feel very fortunate, obviously, having a meeting with them. The fact that it was full-time appealed to me. I was doing 2 jobs, so I was academy manager over at Havehill Football Academy and doing Needham at step 2, which, look, there were 2 jobs I really enjoyed, but in terms of time, I had no time to myself. I was up at 7 in the morning, not getting home till gone midnight each day, and at my age, the ripe old age of 52, it was wearing me down. So the opportunity to be full-time and focus on one job, and a job that, in my opinion, is the most exciting in non-league at the moment. So, yeah, I jumped at the chance.
What is your day-to-day with the football club then? Because some of the players are hybrid.
We've tried to set up a hybrid system, so the younger players that obviously have the potential and drive to go on and play higher, we try and get them in. Lads that are coming back from injury may come in as well. So it's only a small group, 5, 6, and then obviously the others are part-time, like any step 4 team where they train Tuesday and Thursday evening. And that includes sessions on the pitch. It may be going up the gym and do bits. It's new to me, but I'm really enjoying it.
How does this full-time role for you give you that extra advantage on the football pitch?
I think it gives me more time. Obviously, other managers at this level are maybe working 9 till 5, doing different jobs. I can focus on who we're playing, what's coming up, team selection, who's fit, who's not. It just gives me more time, obviously. You've still then got to produce. Lads have still got to do the job once they cross that white line, but I'm very fortunate and I'm aware of that, and I want to make the most of it.
If you're coming to play for us, we promise the best of what we can at this level at the moment. And I wanted to kind of bring in a professional feel for the players. I know it's non-league, they say that, but for me it's more than that. I want to be higher than this level. I want to take everyone there. And me visually, I want a professional changing room. I want professional physio rooms and a professional background stuff and things like that. So I want that to be the environment for everyone.
And how much do you think that will help Kev's team on the pitch?
I think it helped quite a lot because, as I said, it's all about environment. If it was all miserable in there and horrible, it bring you down. It's like, just another changing room. But now I feel like it looks amazing. I think they'll be really happy with the changes, and I think it'll bring them, right, I want to stay with this club because they're willing to do things for us. They're not just want.
2 years ago, we interviewed Terrell Egbury at Malden and Tiptree. Since then, he's gone on and played in 2 different countries, but is now back at the Jammers and believes the transformation at the football club will help push them for promotion this season.
From the change rooms to the pitch to the bench, outside where all the fans can use, it's been unbelievable. It feels like we're at a top level. It feels like we're back in like the English Football League, do you know what I mean? It's when we come in, like all of our kit's washed, and it just feels like I'm back in the league again. When I come in, I feel like we've got the extra edge over all the teams. With the players and whatever's going on in the club, it just feels like we're miles ahead, and hopefully we could just produce on the pitch.
But what's it like playing with arguably the best squad in the division?
It's unbelievable, obviously. You talk about wavelengths in football. See, sometimes I've been at clubs where players are not on the same wavelength as the players that want to push on, and I feel like here everyone wants to get promoted. Everyone wants to do well. Everyone wants to win every single game, and it's beautiful to see.
And have you got to start thinking about Step 3 football and make plans?
Do you think we need to now?
I would say that yes. You're going to be the firm favourites to go up. When you go up to Step 3...
But the favourite doesn't always win, does it?
It doesn't, but in this level of football, money does talk at Step 4. The budget that you've got is probably a lot higher than most of the teams in that division. You must have to think about not just Step 4, but Step 3.
There is different steps you've got to go to, and we're at the point now where we've now put in place the steps we need to get into the next league comfortably, so we're not running around on the last minute. A lot of clubs in our league, they want to win the league, but they don't want to go up because they can't afford to go up. That's the thing. I said to our fans and what have you, we will be top of the league. I don't know how long we're going to stay there for, but we are going to be top of the league. And we are. We've been consistently there now for the last 3 or 4 weeks, and happy days. But, it's going to change around, isn't it? And we've got to be realistic. If we finish in the first 5, better than the 17 we were at last year.
What have you taken from 6 months at a non-league football club that you could necessarily pass on to other owners at clubs that aren't as fortunate to have the money in the backing? Any advice you could give those owners?
You've got to look at your commercialisation of your club. You've got to earn money, because if you don't, we're hearing it all the time. Players are going weeks without being paid. There are people who are working within the club, they're not being paid. 12 weeks and 15 weeks of not paying your staff's wages. I'm surprised they even turn up after the second week. I wouldn't.
What have you learnt about non-league football in 6 months?
Oh my God, it is, I don't know, the highs and the lows, and it's like, I don't understand football at all. The offside rule messes with my head like you won't believe. I just don't get it. But I love the community feel and the spirit. At this level of football, it's the local residents that are involved. Do you know what I mean? I'm seeing loads of people who are season ticket holders for West Ham and Arsenal and Tottenham Hotspurs. They're not renewing their tickets because they can't afford to. It's expensive to be part of those Premiership clubs now. The tickets are really expensive. They go and have a meal there and it's costing them like £30 to £50 when there's like 2 or 3 of them. They just can't afford it. People are looking at local grassroots football now, so we're like, come and try us out. Come and see what we're all about.
And how important is social media? Is that a way of connecting the fans even more?
Absolutely, but it also broadens up your vision to 100 million other people. That's the thing. Before the takeover in February, we were probably getting around 90,000 people on our social media, and that was across all of the channels. But just before pre-season, we were on about 1.3 million a week. 90,000 a month to 1.3 million a week. Now I would say, what are we on now? About 1.7, 1.8 million? So 8.3 million. So people seem to want to watch us.
And the future for Malden and Tiptree, what does that look like for you?
Could be anything.
The sky's the limit.
I do mean that. And I know people will maybe laugh, but the owners have come in and they've admittedly said they don't know too much about football, but they're businessmen and they've said they want to be in the Football League. People can laugh and snigger. It's been done before, so there's no reason why this can't, because they've already shown that they're going to back it to the hilt. And hopefully I can be a part of that jigsaw that helps them get there.
The only way this season is successful, surely, is promotion.
Yes. Yeah, it is. Look, and I know that puts a lot of pressure on my shoulders, but I've said in interviews before, I think that's one thing I crave since I stopped playing professionally, because you are under pressure as a professional to perform and win games, and sometimes in non-league that's not there. So, yeah, winning the league is what success looks like, and cup runs as well, to put that on the back of it. And that brings massive pressure, but like I say, that's one thing I've really missed when I stopped playing professionally.
Colchester at home, here, in the FA Cup, first round proper.
That would be nice, and longer term, Colchester at home in a Football League fixture.
Have you got more to do? More work?
Of course I've got more to do. So
What's coming up?
So we're still going through planning and things like that. Obviously, there's still room to build. So I want to put in a state-of-the-art sporting facility, professional gyms, Olympic swimming pools, sauna spas, and then directors' boxes, possible new changing rooms as well. Then above that, we'll go with the hospitality suites, the classrooms, directors' boxes, and more seating. I can still do another stand over there, so possibly do another long stand there. Nice little pergola down there with a nice little bar.
And what's the future for Malden and Tiptree?
For me,
Building more.
yeah, build. But no, it's not. In my head, I wanna go full prem. But it's going to take some time. Like, I'm only 31. Like, I know it's going to take a fair amount of time and effort, but I want to see how far I can take this club, and I'm not stopping until I've done it.
Well, fingers crossed, we have a good season, and our BTEC starts September 26th, so we're actively working with an educational provider at the moment to get that off the ground and what have you. We're just starting to do some of these exhibitions and things. We've just got a wedding license here, so now we can perform weddings at the club. We're trying to look at ways to bring cash in to keep the sustainability going.
Do you think, come the end of the season, you will understand the offside rule?
Not in a million years.
Barry, thank you so much for your time. Much appreciated. And you.